Hey, all right. So today we're going to be doing some large modern wall decor DIYs that anyone can do. These are all going to be budget friendly, easy. A lot of the items are going to be from the Dollar Tree. So let's get right into it. All right. So for this first large modern wall decor piece, we're going to be doing, it's just some skewers from the Dollar Tree and the little Dollar Tree rubber balls. You can use something else. You just want a half circle. So I cut my ball in a half circle. So you want something soft that you can stick the skewers from the Dollar Tree in. And then you'll just place them in. It's kind of like a sea urchin type looking. You can cut them smaller, but for mine it's going to be real big. Once you're done putting in as many as you would like, then you can color it your choice of color. I spray painted mine black, but just the base of it, not the whole thing. You can see the tips are still brown, and then I'm hitting those with some gold. You'll put something on the back to hang it nice and flat, and this is how it comes out. All right, now for this wall decor idea, this is another large wall decor piece that you can do. You can do this as big as you want. You can do this as small as you want. You can do this in multiple pieces. You can do this in a singular piece. I just have some macrame cord that I got from Amazon, and I'm just going to cut it the length that I want. So you're going to want it to be a length that, fold over double plus space enough for a knot. So I hope that, all makes sense. So it's just 3 pieces. I use 3 pieces hooped over, so you can see where they fold in the middle there, and then I have the 3 ends on each side. You can do it thicker if you want a more chunkier piece, but I didn't want mine too big, so I'm just going to take some yarn, just some regular yarn, and I'm just going to tie off right above where I want the tail kind of piece to be, if that makes sense, of the macrame. And this is just real simple. You're just going to take, and you're going to do it in sections, but you're going to tie it real nice and tight, and then you're just going to wrap it around. So I cut off a decent amount of yarn, but not too much so it doesn't get all tangled up when I'm wrapping it around. And then I'm just wrapping it around nice and snug. You can go nice and tight with this because it'll make it too bendable and flexible. You don't want it to be too loose because it'll look, kind of sloppy. So once you're done with one piece of yarn, you can just tie a knot and connect another piece of yarn and just kind of wrap it in so that you don't see the knots. So you'll put the knots and the little tails inward so that when you're wrapping it, you don't see it. And you just keep doing this from one end all the way to the other end where you're going to end it off and have your little macrame tail there, which is great. And then you're just going to unravel the tail. So once you cut these, you can see they start to open up already. I took a skewer here, but you can just really unravel this with your hands too. This part takes the longest time doing this, but it gives you that boho kind of wall decor feel, because a lot of macrame pieces, to me, they give you that feel, but this is like got a little modern touch to it. So if you're into boho modern pieces, this might be a good one for you. And then once I get to the other end, I just tie the tail of the yarn with a piece of the macrame cord, a good sturdy piece, not a soft piece that'll fall apart, but a good sturdy piece. I gave it a couple ties, and then I snipped the extra tail of the yarn off, and then you would be done with that, and then you would have it in the middle and just tie a knot, just one single knot where you would have a hoop on top to be able to hang it, and you would be done with your pieces. Now for this wall decor idea, this one's super simple, super easy. This came from the Dollar Tree. It's just a big, the thick poster board with like the foam kind of thing in the inside. So I'm just going to try to make metal-like pieces. So I'm just cutting strips of this, thick project poster board or whatever you call it. And I'm just cutting them different sizes. You can do them all the same size if you want, but I just wanted a few long pieces and just a few different sizes. But I did all of this, and it's a really large piece with one poster board. So you can get one poster board and do this. So I'm just bending it to try to get it to lay flat, because it does sometimes curve just a little bit, and that's okay, because you'll have like it'll look like, you know, crinkled metal. And then I'm just taking off the excess pieces of paper from when I did cut it. The more paper you tear off, the spray paint is going to affect the white part underneath different than it does the paper, just so you know. So that's going to have a different look. But then I just hit it with 3 different types of spray paint that I have, and this is how the pieces came out. I made sure I hit the sides too, just so that it would look, you know, like I said, I wanted it to get like a metal kind of piece look. Again, trying to make sure they're flat, because if you don't, it will kind of curve up on you, and you're just going to arrange them how you want, kind of overlaying them. You can lace them in and out and just hot glue them together, and this will be a super easy, super lightweight large wall decor piece that will give you that industrial type look. Okay, now for this one, this is a large paper wall decor piece. So paper is a great way to get a look that you want without costing you a bunch of money. This piece of paper right here, I'm just trying to use thick pieces of paper. You can use poster board from the Dollar Tree. You can use cardstock paper. I ended up using cardstock paper, and this piece of it's kind of like cardstock paper, but it's just a bigger piece. It was wrapped in something that I had got in the mail, and they wrapped it in this. So I'm just folding it over because I don't want that size of a piece. So I'm folding it in half. You want to try to make sure you cut your pieces as straight and as even as possible. So from each side to each side is the same length on each side, so that it, you know, evens out, and you have a little less work to do when you're done and when you're trying to put the pieces together. But anyway, I cut this piece, and then you're just going to make like a fan. If you watched my palm tree one, you'll see kind of like the same concept, and you can just see this is just a bunch of pieces of paper together, but it's just saving me the time of having to connect the pieces at the end. But you're just going to fold back and forth. So you fold one way, you flip it, you fold the other way. Again, trying to make them as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want more of a uniform look, it'll work out great for you. So I'm just folding it till I get to the end, and then I'm just straightening it up, because like I said, my piece wasn't super duper straight. And you can see you kind of have a paper fan, and you can fold it out into a half of a circle. So if you want, like I said, you can distress this. You can not do it so perfectly circular. You can just play around with this and do it however you like. If you have a stapler, this would be easier to put together too, because you can just staple the pieces. But right there, I'm just showing you that I'm just going to line it up. So once I folded up those 2 pieces, I just hot glued them. So you can see where it's like folded over. I glued one piece that was flat into the other piece, so that it just kind of went in with the fold to kind of make one piece, if that makes sense. And then evening it out so that it kind of looked like it was one piece, and then connecting them at the end. And you can see I just have a big old circle here now. So that's what you'll do with the other papers too. You'll just keep doing it until you have enough to fold out into a big old circle, and you'll have that hole in the middle that'll be a little pain in the butt, but you can glue that together. You can staple the pieces in the corner there to help it get a little sturdier. I used the bottom, like the piece of a wood stick, to glue on the back of them, just to help it be a little more stable, if that makes sense. But you have to hold this in place until it dries. So I put glue in the middle, and I put the glue stick pieces on the back, just to give it that real sturdy effect. If you wanted to, you can glam this out too, and do like some crushed glass on this, do some like a glitter mix. You can do a lot of different things. Because I knew the cardstock paper would be the same kind of size as the other one, if I left it the whole size of the paper, I folded it the long way, and I just made a smaller one. So I didn't want them all to be the same size. So you can play around with your paper sizing. And for this one, it only took 2 pieces of paper. So for a bigger one, it took me about 6 pieces of paper. But for the smaller one, it only took me 2 pieces of paper because they were cut in half. So the difference in your circles is going to be how much paper you use. I spray painted it with a metallic spray paint, which the clip got lost. And I double-sided taped them together and hot glue, and this is how it came out. Now for this one, I did something similar to this before, but you can do this with the pool noodles from the Dollar Tree. But I have a lot of these cardboard tubes that I did save, so I'm going to be using those. I have one long one, and then I have the rest that are the same size. So if you were doing the pool noodle, you can cut that in half, and then you just really need the rounded side of it. But for the cardboard tubes, I'm going to be leaving them just the way they are. I'm not going to be cutting them, you know, to have a flat back, because it hangs up just fine without me having to do that. The pool noodle would hang up just fine too without you having to do that, but it would give you more, so you would have more pool noodle to work with if you cut them, you know, in half. But I'm just cutting the cardboard tube. I'm using a little saw from the Dollar Tree because my cardboard tube is a little thick, but like your normal paper towel roll wouldn't, you can do it with a pair of scissors, it wouldn't be that thick. But I'm just taking, and I just wanted the ends just to be kind of a different size to look like it went out, you know, from the big piece in the middle to out to a smaller piece. You can cut them all down different sizes and have it really grade down into the smaller one. But I'm just doing it just like that, and it's real simple. You're just going to hot glue them together. So I just took and did a strip of the hot glue and lined it up and did it on both sides all the way till I got to the end, and then I had the shape that I was looking for. So that part is real simple. This whole thing is real simple, and it's real lightweight. Even though my cardboard tubes are a little bit thick, it is real lightweight. So all of these wall decor pieces are lightweight. So if you wanted to hang them with a command strip or something like that, you could do that. So it wouldn't be a big deal. So once I had everything the way that I wanted it, I just took some Dollar Tree caulk and I covered it. You can do this with textured paint. You could not do it, but because I'm using the cardboard tubes, you can see they have those little lines there, which would drive me crazy if I saw those. So I would prefer to have a textured look rather than seeing the lines in the cardboard tube. So I just covered the front of it with the caulk from the Dollar Tree, and then you can go in the cracks and kind of make it look like it's one piece. So I just did a strip in the cracks, just like if you were caulking your tub or around your sink or something like that. You just want to fill in. So I just did that, let that dry, and then I just came in with some regular paint, and you'll just want to paint the outside and inside the tubes, because if it's not closed off, depending on what angle you're looking at it, you might see the inside of the tube, especially at the bottom. So you'll do that, let that dry, and then you can just put some type of hook on the back. And I did that with hot glue. I just cut that little piece and hot glued it with a lot of hot glue, let it dry, and hung it on the wall, and that's how it came out.